forgot how nerve-wracking it is turning a camera on to my face because I haven't done it in a few years. But hi, welcome to my little corner of the internet where we talk about books, life, whatever happens in this little head of mine. Sorry about the road noise. Obviously, I'm outside. And that is because if you don't know, I travel in an RV full time and it gets a little noisy in there with the dogs. Every time I open my mouth, they kind of go nuts. So as long as the weather's permitting, I'm outside for now, hanging out in the sunlight. Oh God, I forgot how nervous I get in front of a camera. But when we first started out on YouTube, it was on a channel that my dad fully runs now, and it's called CR View, and it's all about our RV life. And in the nearly 10 years of us being on the road, I realized that I have no one to talk about books with because both of my best friends aren't really readers. You know, most of the people around us in our community out here aren't quite readers, with the exception of Sue. But anyway, the start of my February was... God, it got so quiet out here. All of us kind of got sick in the beginning of the February, including one of my puppies, but we're all back up to health now, and I feel ready to talk about books. So I'm gonna do a spinner wheel and we'll find out what books I'll be reading off my TBR this month. I primarily use Libby or the ebook format, except for, you know, the occasional physical book that I'll buy because space is limited in the RV and can't really weigh ourselves down with a lot of physical books, even though I love the smell of a paperback. But so I primarily use Libby or a local library, or I'll read on the Kindle app on my iPad or my phone. So what I currently have checked out on the list from Libby is I am reading Mate, which is by Ali Hazelwood. It's a sequel to Bride. I've got the audiobook for Count My Lies. And then my two books that I have on hold, I've got the audiobook for Gallant, that's coming up in a couple of weeks, and I've got the favorites on hold. So I'm excited to get to those. Now let's spin that wheel. I would say what I'm most hopeful for on the wheel is Dungeon Crawler Carl. I finally got a paperback version of that for my birthday last month. So fingers crossed, and let's spin. Ooh, I see it. Almost. Oh, just barely missed it. So our first book will be Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'm not mad about that at all. V.E. Schwab is one of my auto read authors. So let's spin again. And I Darken, I believe that's by Kirsten White. I have that on my Kindle. And one more spin. I think that'll be good. And a Christmas book. Okay, Christmas in February. I'm down with that. Jingle All the Way is one of the books that Sue brought to me. I'm good with that. Okay, so first on the spinner wheel was Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, and it's toxic lesbian vampires. It's told in 3 separate timelines, I believe, and they all kind of interconnect somehow. And it's another character-driven novel versus plot heavy. It's basically a character study, and I'm excited. I love V.E. Schwab's writing, so I'm good. And then we've got Jingle All the Way, a Christmas book in February. This one was gifted to me by my friend Sue, and the back says, trapped in the middle of 5 siblings, Everly Lancaster always had big dreams. Now a top real estate executive, Everly's work leaves no space for anything or anyone else in her life. Sensing her stress, her boss insists she take December off and take a trip. At first, a month away seems crazy, but Everly's mother convinces her otherwise. Plus, when she returns, she'll have no excuse to skip family Christmas like she did last year. But after her vengeful assistant books a guided cruise in the Amazon instead of the luxury beach vacation she expected, Everly is horrified to realize that she's about to spend 2 weeks trapped in the rainforest. Not even Asher Adams, the ship's charming naturalist, can convince Everly that the trip will be unforgettable. But slowly she realizes he is right. The sights are spectacular, and with each passing day, Everly's relationship with Asher deepens. But as the cruise nears its end and Everly's family Christmas approaches, both must decide if love is worth the risk. So that's on the docket. And I Darken by Kirsten White. No one expects a princess to be brutal, and Leda Dragwila likes it that way. Ever since she and her brother were abandoned by their father to be raised in the Ottoman Sultan's courts, Leda has known that ruthlessness is the key to survival. For the lineage that makes her and her brother special also makes them targets. She hones her skills as a warrior as she nurtures plans to wreak revenge on the empire that holds her captive. Then she and Radu meet the Sultan's son, Mehmed, and everything changes. Now, Mehmed unwittingly stands between Leda and Radu as they transform from siblings to rivals, and the ties of love and loyalty that bind them together are stretched to breaking point. And it's the first in a trilogy, I believe, so I'm excited by that. Mate, of course, is the sequel to Bride. And Count My Lies. I'm listening to this one on audio. Sloane Caraway is a liar. Harmless lies mostly to make her self-proclaimed sad little life a bit more interesting. So when Sloane sees a young girl in tears at a park one afternoon, she can't help herself. She tells the girl's very attractive dad she's a nurse and helps him pull a bee stinger from the girl's foot. With this lie and chance encounter, Sloane becomes the nanny for the wealthy and privileged Jay and Violet Lockhart, the perfect New York couple with a brownstone, a daughter in private school, and summers on Block Island. But maybe Sloane isn't the only one lying, and all that's picture perfect and all that's picture perfect harbors a much more dangerous truth. To say anything more is to spoil the most exciting, twisty, and bitingly smart suspense novel to come out in years. And then Gallant, another V.E. Schwab that's on the docket for this month. Olivia Pryor has grown up in Maryland's School for Girls, and all she has of her past is her mother's journal, which seems to unravel into madness. Then a letter invites Olivia to come home to Gallant. Yet when Olivia arrives, no one is expecting her. But Olivia is not about to leave the first place that feels like home. It doesn't matter if her cousin Matthew is hostile, or if she sees half-formed ghouls haunting the hallways. Olivia knows that Gallant is hiding secrets, and she's determined to uncover them. When she crosses a ruined wall at just the right moment, Olivia finds herself in a place that is Gallant but not. The manor is crumbling, the ghouls are solid, and a mysterious figure rules over all. Now Olivia sees what has unraveled generations of her family and where her father may have come from. And The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I've watched multiple booktubers talk about it recently, and I'm excited. She might not have a famous name, funding, or her family's support, but Katerina Shaw has always known that she was destined to become an Olympic skater. When she meets Heath Roca, a lonely kid stuck in the foster care system, their instant connection makes them a formidable duo on the ice. Clinging to skating and each other to escape their turbulent lives, Kat and Heath go from childhood sweethearts to champion ice dancers, captivating the world with scorching chemistry, rebellious style, and roller coaster relationship, until a shocking incident at the Olympic Games brings their partnership to a sudden end. As the 10-year anniversary of their final skate approaches, an unauthorized documentary reignites the public fascination with Shaw and Roca, claiming to uncover the real story through interviews with their closest friends and fiercest rivals. Kat wants nothing to do with the documentary, but she can't stand the thought of someone else defining her legacy. So after a decade of silence, she's telling her story, from the childhood tragedies that created her all-consuming bond with Heath to the clash of desires that tore them apart. Sensational rumors have haunted their every step for years, but the truth may be even more shocking than the headlines. So that sounds like a really exciting reading month for me coming up, and I hope you'll stay tuned to see it.